We be
We be
live. Hi,
live.
everyone. We be
Hi,
live. Hi.
everybody.
Guys, we have a guest. Say hi to our guest.
Hi,
Shalom.
everyone. Shalom leKol
Shalom.
Israelim. That was in Hebrew, saying hi to everyone.
What does that mean? What did you say?
Hi to all of the Israeli guys,
Ah, okay,
as far as you
okay,
know.
cool. As far as I know. All right. Okay, so Roy, why are you here? You're here to challenge me on my some of my claims, aren't you? You're gonna show how wrong I am regarding my analysis on on
Yes,
my previous
yeah,
shows.
your analysis and the war. I just want to say first, Shireen.
Huh.
That's her name, Shireen. Yeah, I want to say first
Huh?
that my mind is not completely set on this. I am kind of sitting on the
Mhm.
fence here, but I am going to do some devil's advocate, okay, still because I know what the other side completely what their mind is, and I do go to demonstrations, but my mind is not completely set. So that's
Set,
what I'm
set.
going to do
But
here.
but first I want to thank you, the people in the live chat that they're here, that are saying that they like the stream. Thank you so much. I see Alfred is highlighting them. Yeah, people are saying hi. People, and also guys, say hi to Roy as well. And also, yes, please, when you're like the stream first, and also write in the live chat that you have liked the stream, so that other people get encouraged to like as well. And Alfred, thank you so much for being here and highlighting people's comment. I really appreciate that. Okay, so what is this thing? So first of all, who are you? People who don't know Roy, first
Yeah,
explain that. You're
I'm
Israeli.
Roy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm Roy.
Roy.
I'm an Israeli. I live in Tel Aviv. All of these huge demonstrations are right across the street from here. It's still quiet in my house, so it's fine. I'm a Jew, of course. I'm not religious. I'm a complete atheist. Someone says, I know Roy, you're here. Kelvan, I know who you are. Maybe you know me. Yeah, that's why I'm an atheist. I'm a Jew. That's it. I think so.
Yeah, some people always say like, how could you say I'm a Jew and an atheist at the same time? One of them is referring to ethnicity and culture. The other one is referring to belief. For people who want
Yeah.
to ask that question.
Some
Anyway,
Muslim
so
people even say it. Say that
yes,
they're
yes,
Muslim and
yes.
not religious.
That does that
Yeah,
doesn't
that
make
doesn't
sense.
make sense, but people say it. People
Yes,
can say
yes,
it.
yes. It makes sense for Jew and atheist, but it doesn't make sense for Muslim atheist.
Yeah,
I mean, technically, I have a
it
friend,
doesn't.
Ali Dabo, who wrote a book, The Muslim Atheist, but I'm not going to get into that, right?
Your best
What
friend.
he means by that. Yes. So let's. My best friend is Suzanne, but he's
Mortal.
close. Let me actually put this on the screen. This is our source of disagreement, right?
Yes.
Also, am I getting this wrong? I thought the name of the corridor is the Philadelphia corridor, not the Philadelphia
Yeah,
corridor.
you're
Which one
completely
is it?
right. It's Philadelphia.
So it's Philadelphia. So why is it
Yeah.
so many on Western media? So everybody's calling it Philadelphia corridor.
Yeah, they're
Like I
idiots.
don't know. Okay. So guys, this is wrong. It's not the Philadelphia corridor. It's the Philadelphia corridor.
Philadelphia.
And Roy, do you want to explain what the source of this agreement is? Because this is a major source of uh, right now. A lot of the protests that you're seeing in Israel, it's over disagreement over this. Is regarding getting ceasefire and get the hostages because we're negotiating with Hamas to do a ceasefire in exchange for the hostages. And some Israelis are saying no, we should not ceasefire. We should finish the job. And many Israelis are saying Netanyahu is sacrificing the life of the Israelis for his own political gain. He doesn't care about the hostages. He's putting the hostages at risk. And that's why he's not negotiating for ceasefire. And he's not doing everything that he can to get the hostages back. And the only reason why he's continuing the war is because of his political career and because he wants to remain prime minister so that he doesn't go to prison, right?
Yes.
And the the the, the thing Hamas wants for the ceasefire. So the negotiation between Hamas and Israel right now is if the only way Israel will agree to a ceasefire, the terms that Israel wants is that they don't let go of this Philadelphia corridor. Hamas,
Hmm.
one of the conditions that Hamas has for a ceasefire and to give up the hostages is for them to is for Israel to leave this Philadelphia corridor. And this Philadelphia corridor is uh, basically you can see the border between Gaza and Egypt. It used
It's
to
the
be under the
border no one
control of
talks about. It's the border that
the
everyone
border.
that criticizes Israel never talks about.
Yes, yes. Now they're talking about it because now they
Now.
could use it to attack Israel
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, look, Israel doesn't care about its own people, right? But it's basically it used to be under the control of Egypt. Now it's under the control of Israel, and it's a 100-meter wide, I think, right? But I don't know how
100
many.
meter.
Yeah,
Wide.
like
Yeah. Okay.
wide,
Yeah.
like not the length, the width,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
It's not
so they
Lego.
made it. Yes, they made it thicker so that they could make sure that they could see who's passing it,
Yeah,
right?
logistically.
Anyways, yes. So do you want to add some explanations in case I miss anything here? Like what's your understanding of what the situation is?
Yeah, the opening is quite on point. I think uh, from Hamas point of view, they're still with the same, asking for the same thing. Give us all of their hostages, and they give us all their hostages, and that's it. We could do this. We can do this. We could have done this deal on day one, on October 8th. By the way, if we would done this deal on October 8th, none of this would happen. I don't say we should have, but we could. That's what they said that they want. From day one, they're still saying the same thing. They want all the hostages back, then to
Well,
exchange
who?
hostages and to keep the Philadelphia corridor, of course.
Okay, so let's actually be clear with our language here. It's not exchange of hostages. Okay, one side has hostages, the other side has
Prisoners.
prisoners.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, let's not
Yeah.
call the people who Israel has arrested as hostages, right? Yeah, people, we should be sensitive about that. Like the exchange
Yeah.
of hostages makes it seem like Israel has taken Palestinian civilians as hostages for exchange. Like that's not what has happened here. So it's not an exchange of hostages.
It's not.
Hostages as prisoners for hostages.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your arguments? So again, people, like, remember, one side, like Israeli people themselves are divided over this, right?
Mm-hmm.
One side is saying, I mean, like, again, I know that there's many different views, I'm just simplifying it. One side is saying that we should not give up this Philadelphia corridor, and I'm on that side as well. Oh yes, I'm not Israeli, I dare to have an opinion about these things, come sue me for it. I agree that I agree with Netanyahu on this point, that we should not give up the Philadelphia corridor. This is basically what how Hamas could revive. This is basically the breathing corridor for Hamas. You need to suffocate Hamas. You need to keep this close. You're this close to basically completely destroying Hamas's ability to maintain control over Gaza, and it completely destroy its military capability. You have come this far, and it has been very successful. Why would you give up right at this very last moment? Why would you gamble with the potential of Hamas being able to regain everything that it has lost, right? So do
Mm-hmm.
not give up the Philadelphia corridor. And yes, I understand that getting the hostages are a priority. On the other hand, making sure that we don't get more hostages in the future, that's a higher priority, right? A higher priority than saving the hostages is to make sure that Hamas is incapable of not getting future hostages. That's also that should be okay. So that's my position.
Yeah.
The other side is saying that the only reason why Netanyahu doesn't want to give up this corridor is because he doesn't want a ceasefire, and he doesn't want a ceasefire because as long as war continues, then he gets to remain in power and remain a prime minister. And he's doing this for political gain, because if he stops being a prime minister, he could potentially go to jail for corruption, and that's why he's playing with Israeli lives for his own political gain. I don't know how that makes sense either, because the idea is the people who are saying do a ceasefire with Hamas, they're saying do so that you could start a war with Hezbollah. So if Netanyahu was doing this for political gain, he could do a ceasefire and could still continue the war. So I don't understand how the ceasefire would be against him remaining prime minister. So maybe you could explain that to me. So okay, so these are the things, my understanding. You go ahead. What am I getting wrong?
Yeah, the part with the Hezbollah is detached from the part with Gaza. The people that demonstrate here in Tel Aviv, I think it was about 600,000 people last time. They don't say, let's stop the war in Gaza and start the war with Hezbollah. They don't say that. They just want to stop the war in Gaza. Okay, that's the demonstration. No one is holding a sign that says, let's continue with Hezbollah, leave Gaza. No one says that. Okay?
No, yeah, no. But the military people within the government are saying that, right? I know the protesters are not saying that, which shows to me that Netanyahu is capable. If he wanted to stay in power, he could still continue the war. Like, he doesn't need to continue the war with Hamas for his political power. He has enough excuses, legitimate excuses, to continue the war with Hezbollah, even if he gets a ceasefire here. So I don't see why you could accuse Netanyahu of not doing a ceasefire with Hamas specifically for continuing the war when he has other wars that he could continue somewhere else. But yeah,
I can tell you how. The war with Hezbollah is not urgent. Supposedly, if we stop the war in Gaza, Hezbollah, maybe it's Hezbollah, not Hezbollah. No one knows that. It's Hezbollah. They say that the war would stop. They would stop firing at us if we get out of Gaza. So if he will do that, the war with Hezbollah would not be urgent. We could stop. We can do elections again. That's what the people want, right? We want to replace him. So he can't say, I need to stay as prime minister because we're now in the middle of a war with Hezbollah.
Well, he could say that it's an immediate after Hezbollah. No, it is immediate because there are so many. There's how many Israelis are basically
tens of thousands
cannot live in their homes right now.
I think like about 100,000, maybe someone in the comment
100. Yeah, sorry. Let me just say 100,000 Israelis have not been living in their homes for a very long period of time. So that makes it urgent. What did he say about the comment section?
That maybe someone can correct me about the number, the 100,000.
Yes.
That's what
also, somebody in the comment section is saying that I should check the polls on what. Do you know the number? I should go check the numbers on the most recent.
No, I don't have them on top of my head. Look, it is urgent, but Hezbollah will stop firing and they will be able to come home. They could come home because Hezbollah will not fire. So that's the point. Hezbollah would stop firing. It would be just like 2 years ago. People lived in the north 2 years ago. They would continue live there. We would then arm ourselves. We can rest. We can do elections again.
Here's another way. If I was Netanyahu, I could sell this as urgent. Okay, I would say that if we stop right now, if we don't attack Hezbollah right away, then we will never have this international excuse. Like right now, we are in a war, so everything it's normalized that Israel is at war. So now we could open a front with Hezbollah. If the war stops and then we go through a period of no war, there is no way the amount of international pressure on us would be so. There's no way that the world powers, especially the United States, would tolerate us just starting a war with Hezbollah. And Hezbollah would be wise enough to make sure that if this war ends, Hezbollah would be wise enough not to attack Israel, to not give Israel an excuse to start a war, and Israel would not be in a position to basically, without any attack from Hezbollah, to be like, okay, now that we had an election, now that we have a ceasefire with Hamas, everything seems peaceful, let's start a war. Like the whole world would be like, fuck, right? Like
first,
everything is peaceful and you want to start a war. So if Israel wants to, so here's the thing. Hezbollah is a threat to the existence of Israel. If you want to start a war, and if you don't start a war with Hezbollah, eventually they will get so powerful that they will be irremovable, right? So if you want to start a war with Hezbollah, this is it. This is it right now. If we get full peace and you haven't started a war with Hezbollah, you might never get this opportunity ever again. So you have to hit while the iron is still hot, or else if you miss this window, you will miss it forever. So that's my excuse. That's my argument for why Netanyahu would be like, no elections, no nothing. Hamas would go to Hezbollah right away. What do you think?
If we want to start a war, we can do what everyone accuses us do, and make the place hot. We can make we can make it happen. If we fire something, they fired at us, we fire at them, they fire again, and we can start a war. But regardless of that, we don't have to start a war with Hezbollah. What do you mean? Do you mean eradicate Hezbollah like we're doing with Hamas, like an actual war to conquer
No. Like hit
Lebanon?
them. Obviously, eradication doesn't make sense because, as soon as I find like it's, what does eradicate even mean? Like, it doesn't make any
Like
sense.
disable them.
Disable, yes. I want Hezbollah to be hit so hard in such a way that they will never recover from it ever again. Like, this is basically get them to a point where, even though they still exist, but their position, both politically within Lebanon, right? If you bring war to Lebanon because of Hezbollah, their political position in Lebanon would be weaker than it is even right now. Right now, the political capital of Hezbollah in Lebanon is dropping like a rock. This is if you bring war to Lebanon because of this, then it will drop even further. And also their military capital. It needs to be hit in such a way that people would dismiss them as a serious proxy going forward.
Yeah.
Right. And also
people in the comments accuse me of being a pro-Palestine leftist. I want to remind people that I'm doing some the devil's advocate. I don't really believe everything that I say right now.
You don't. You're not. Why don't let these people intimidate you? These are crazy. These people.
I am a leftist pro-Palestinian, by the way. I just don't think that I'm not saying everything that I think we should do. That's not what I think. But look,
yes.
Hezbollah is another thing.
Right, pro-Palestinian. It's not. It's good to be pro-Palestinian.
Yeah, I'm pro-Palestinian.
That's why we're so pro-Israel. I mean, I say this at least. I don't know if that's. I am pro-Israel, partly because I'm pro-Palestinian, and I think Israel is the best chance for Palestinians. Israel.
I can tell you what I'm pro-Palestinians. I don't know what pro-Palestinian is, right?
Yes, that's actually there is no. I mean, okay. So Palestine is not a country, but it is the name of a place.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Palestinians. Yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
Pro-Palestinians.
I mean, if we ever get a one-state solution, that would be the Palestine province. I think no
province.
It's not a country, but it would be a province. I don't know what you would call it by that point. Anyway,
West Bank.
So
I want to get back to
yourself. Yeah, go back. You go.
I want to get back to Gaza. I want to talk about the war itself. I want to talk about how the country changed during the war. So, of course, after October 7, the obvious thing happened. Everyone lost their minds. I didn't sleep for, I think, 3 months. I was in Telegram watching over and over again all the horrible video, etc. But we're getting very hostile. We're getting very, how do you say it, corrupted. You need to see the social media comments. You need to see the people, what they want to do, what the soldiers are starting to do. I mean, it's escalating every day. Every day you see a video of a soldier letting himself do things that he now knows that he can do, where like a year ago he could not do. For example, there's a video that just got out. You see a Palestinian in a truck. The soldier tells him to stop. The Palestinian curses him, so he fires at his tires. He would never do that a year ago, right? He was, because things was going to happen to him. Now he can do that. And you hear the rhetoric. People say yeah, kill them, kill everyone. Everything you see. There's this situation where our soldiers supposedly, I really don't know what happened, right? So, supposedly graped they graped with grapes the terrorists, right? And people say, what do you so much the terrorists? Well, why do you care if they're graped or not? So I keep telling, I don't care if they're graped. I hope that they die from the graped, but I just don't want our soldiers to do the graping. I hope that each and one of those terrorists that was graped would die from infected hemorrhoids, but our soldiers should not do the graping. That's the problem. So that's what happens during this war, during every war, right? So this is what happens. I'm seeing everything we accused the Palestinians of doing before, we're starting to do now. We don't care about them. They should die. Look at them. Everyone is responsible. The same rhetoric, and it's getting worse and worse and worse every day. So that's one point.
So you're saying basically like a Nietzsche quote, like when you're fighting monsters, be careful so that you don't become a monster yourself. And
exactly.
So
this is
the most. So people think that when we are these standards that we want to maintain, even when you're fighting the most vile, disgusting people on earth, they think that when we are defending these standards, we're sympathizing with the people, with those vile people. The reason why we want to maintain these standards is not because we like those people. It's because we don't want to become those people, because we don't want to become close to what they are, right? What you're fighting for is something that is not them. If they manage to make you more like them, then they have defeated you in the most fundamental way possible, right? They have taken what you stand for. Like, maybe when you're fighting them, maybe sometimes they take your lives, but sometimes they take your values, and those values are important to maintain, to have countries and societies that celebrates life, that has actually prospered enough to be advanced enough to be able to take care of its citizens. So that's what people don't understand. It's not a matter of, are they good enough people to deserve that level of protection? Is are you the people who want to be, do your people deserve to be the kind of people that are not like them? That's what is at stake. That's what you're selling. If you apply different standards at war. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that wars does, and it doesn't do it just for us because we're Israelis, right? It happens in every war. The longer the war gets, the corrupted the soldiers get, everyone. But I want to say, I think I say in the comments, so it's not like I want to like explain myself, but it just show maybe I'm not clear. What?
Are you able to highlight comments yourself as well, or is it just?
No, I don't need to. I just want to say, they say the IDF didn't grape. They just took a phone, something. This was just a specific example. I said I don't know if they do it. Let's say they didn't, but they do other things, right? We can't hide that our soldiers do other things. They steal a lot of things. They do a lot of things. We see there are a lot of videos of things that shouldn't happen.
To be fair, I've seen some radicalization because of war among some Israelis. But to be fair to Israel, you see also a lot of backlash to it, right? Like, Israel also demonstrate that when that happens, there's the media of Israel, the politic, even the so-called far right politicians come and condemn that. Like, I've seen that. Like, I mean, I've seen the media come out.
All of them?
They get investigated. They get reported. A lot of people come and criticize it. I mean, it also shows, like, I'm not seeing Israel just becoming more and more radical. I see that I see some radicalization, and I see a huge backlash within Israel itself to those radicals. So I don't see that happening. I think actually Israel is a country that is so self-critical and so open to challenging its own methods that is demonstrating that it's capable of, even if you see example. I mean, these are so rare. These are a handful of examples compared to the major number of people within Israel that show a heavy backlash. And again, a lot of the reasons why we even know that these things happen within Israel is because Israel is a country that is transparent, democratic, and liberal enough to investigate and report this themselves. Like, our source of understanding that these things are happening is Israel's own media. So I'm actually, if I was Israeli, I would be very proud of this being the reaction of my people after its number one terrorist attack on it in its history. Like, this is not how other countries.
It is amazing. It really is amazing that we are like that. It's just that I'm starting to see it would have happened much faster in other places, right? In other countries. I'm positive. I'm confident about that, but it does start to happen. And at the beginning, when someone says kill all the Palestinians, you would see only 5 comments about it. Yeah, do it. Now you see, then 20. Now almost all of the comments are yeah, let's do this. Let's do it. Even about the graping thing, when people thought that there was indeed grape by the IDF, they said, "Well done, we should do it." Right? Let's say it didn't happen, but the people thought that it happened, and they said, "Let's do this."
There's so many people called it that within Israel. Some people, just like any other country, some people were like, "Okay, yeah, fantastic, go do it. These are terrorists." And there are many people in Israel were like, "Holy shit, what the hell? Like these people need to be."
But it's stacking up. It's getting worse and worse. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
How do you know?
Like,
is it getting worse and worse? Do you have stats?
No, I don't have stats. I have like my own perception. That's what I have. I have my own perception. But it's strong. It's not like I see it like with here and there. It's strong. It's very strong. I see it in my family. My own family. I hear it from my family.
I'm trying to look at some polls. Guys, people in Israel, do you in the live chat? Can you tell me if you're concerned that the war with in Gaza is making some more Israelis become radicalized, as Roy is worried about? But here's the thing: even if your concern is true, the point is that a ceasefire would not stop this. A ceasefire would temporarily stop this, and eventually it will bring you more wars in the future. And that more wars in the future, if you're saying a country at war will create more radicals, right? So you want less war, right? So, and I'm saying a ceasefire right now is not the solution to less war. A ceasefire right now is a solution to more war in the future, because if you give breathing room for Hamas, then there will be more October 7th in the future at some point. You have to eliminate this threat right now in Gaza once and for all. So again, sometimes to get less war, you need to continue the war that you're in right now, right?
Yeah.
Israel, I mean, we have seen this. If you study the history of wars, lasting peace comes when you crush your enemy.
When you win.
Lasting peace do not come when you write agreements on pieces of paper and come up with agreements to stop war. Like, we have so many examples of this, right? I mean, my favorite example is that World War I was devastating, and the people got together and then decided to write on pieces of paper to not fight. Okay, did those pieces of paper stop war? It didn't stop war. We had a more devastating war, namely World War II, come after. But after
Nothing
World
to
War
do with
II,
us.
yes, but after World War II, we had long-lasting peace. Why? Because you crushed the enemies, right? You defeated the enemies, and Israel has this experience too as well. Every time Israel has managed to get long-lasting peace, out of Egypt, out of Jordan, is because it annihilated their military. Okay, so this is the history that we have. We know that if you want long-lasting peace, you have to take the hope from victory out of your enemies. If your enemies think that there's a chance to win, then that will increase the chances of war. So if you want just a temporarily peace right now with Gaza for future wars to continue, then do a ceasefire. If you want a long-lasting peace with Gaza, then crush Hamas in a way that they could never recover ever again. That will get you a peace that will last. That's my
even just for the sake of deterrence. Even just for the sake of deterrence, right? Just so people know that you will do it. Like, so your enemies know you will go the way.
It's both deterrence and also because they don't have anything to work with anymore. If you go and, I mean, here's the thing: like, we were celebrating every single tunnel that Israel was closing. We were celebrating, okay? And now, when it comes to the most important fucking tunnels, this is when you want to stop. Like, all the tunnels that we have all across Gaza.
No, it's not want to stop. We just don't want to hold it. I mean, I'm presenting the case that people say that they shouldn't hold it.
You have to hold it. There are still tunnels. Okay, let me actually explain this to people. All the tunnels that we have closed so far, Israel has closed so far, was for mobilization of equipment within Gaza and also for attacks within Gaza. These remaining tunnels between Gaza and Egypt, that's where everything comes from. That's the most important one to close. In fact, the best criticism of Netanyahu that you could have is, why the fuck did you not start from the south?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
understand. Like, I kind of know why he didn't do that, but
Yeah.
that's the criticism that you should
Why?
have.
Why do you think
The
he didn't do
criticism
that?
should not be like, okay, stop now, because this is the most important one for him to close. The criticism should be like, dude, what the fuck? Everything was coming through the south. This is where you should have started with. That's what you. And I think I don't know if I'm right about this, because there's no excuses. There's absolutely no excuses for why they didn't start here at the south, except maybe they were hoping that Gazans will leave and go to Egypt. Was that the reason?
That's part of the reason. Maybe they hoped also that Hamas will actually surrender. Maybe that was a possibility.
I don't know why. Oh, okay. I'm winning right now. The Israelis on the live chat, they're on my team. So you started this live chat by saying, I think Roy is going to kick some ass in this debate. But right now, the Israelis in the live chat agree with me. And also, we got a super chat.
But I think I saw a lot of the
Okay,
people
go
say
ahead.
that they do feel that the corruption is dripping inside, that people are starting to be monsters. I saw the comments. People say yes. When you ask the question, you have polls, right? You don't have polls in the comment section?
What?
I think you have polls. Can't you put polls in the comment section? No, I think I saw
Polls?
I think I saw polls. Yeah, like I should poll. Like, what do you think, this or this, so people can mark?
Oh, poll. A poll.
Poll,
Yes,
yeah, polls. Sorry,
yeah.
polls.
Yes. Yes, I could do a poll.
Yeah, that could be nice.
I could do a poll. Let me actually see. So what should I say in this poll?
Yeah, poll.
Should I say, do you agree with Armin and Roy? Okay. Should see, here's the thing. I could ask this poll question in two ways that would be favorable. If I ask this, should Israel, right, give in to Hamas's demand, right? Most that would favor most people saying no, right? But if I ask the question in a different way, I could ask, should we do a ceasefire for the sake of saving the hostages? Then that question would lead people to answer the other way a little bit more. So the way that you ask a question is very important. So how do you think I should ask a question? Because again, I could design the question in a way that would get more results in one way or another. So how do you think?
We'll take it into account. The way you think so, and you think, and we'll take that into account.
So I will not write the question. I would just say, do you think who do you agree with more, Armin or Roy?
Yeah, I'm not done yet, man. I'm not done. I have a lot more ammo. I'm not even halfway through. Are you kidding me?
Okay, but they could change their they could change their
mind. Yeah, they can do it now and they can do it again later.
Yeah, okay. Or Armin. Okay, so let's get this. If I win, I'm going to use this forever. I debated an Israeli, and more Israelis agreed with the non-Israeli. Oh, wait a minute. How come we don't have? Oh yeah, hold on. Let me do. I have to change the channel. Also, read some of the people in the live chat. See what they're saying. If they agree, like,
I think there were a couple of super chat that you missed.
Yes.
Yeah, Alfred, I see Team Roy here. Well, you should mark up a couple of those.
Yes.
Let's see some Team Roy. Yeah, Arthur, what's up? Pfeiffer.
They're just saying that because they feel bad for you now.
Yeah, at least some of us need to.
Yeah. They're like, oh no, Armin is crushing Roy here. He's gonna feel so sad. Let's actually say that we agree with him. Who do you agree with more? Okay.
I want to give context for this because you did a show like maybe a week ago when you said that you want some Israeli to come up. So that's where this came from.
Yes. Okay, so the super chat that we got. How do you pronounce her name? I can't read that.
Sharin or Shireen? Oshrin, I can't really know. Sharin or Shrin?
She's saying, wishing a great stream. Ahlan.
Ahlan. Yeah, in Arabic. Ahlan. Hi.
Arabic. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's a slang in Hebrew. We say Ahlan in Hebrew is a slang.
Why? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, we have a lot of slang Arabic in Hebrew.
Okay. Like two Israeli Jews are saying, greeting each other in Arabic. I didn't expect that.
Look, there's some like unfair. Someone is here is with you just because you're sexy. I don't know. It's not fair. What can I do about this? I want to go with Roy, but Army is just so sexy. I mean, what can I do about this?
All right. Well, I have to use every tool to my advantage. All right. So here, tell me
I have more. I
your
have a lot
best
more.
argument. Why should we give up the Philadelphia corridor to get to? Why should we give it up and get it for ceasefire? Give me your
Okay.
best. Give me your best.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I wrote some things here. It's in Hebrew. You want to understand,
Okay,
so
go
I'm
on.
going to go through them. Okay. So another thing is about the actual our army. We have a very strong, very small army. We're very good at sprints. All of the war that we won, they weren't long, right? You know, they were very short wars, and we really did kick some serious ass in those wars. And we are not really built for long actual wars, right? We can do some hold some places, but we don't build for that. Our army is not built for that. We actually don't have enough soldiers for that. The army itself is saying that we don't have enough soldiers. Also, our soldiers are like we have a lot of reserve soldiers that were not home for at least 6 months during this war. People are getting depressed. The economy is we're drained. What else do I have here? Um, we have a lot of jealousy. We have a lot of we have the religious people here that don't get drafted, right? So this is getting a lot of heat during this war. The longer the war is, the longer it happens. So that's a problem. So if we stay in Philadelphia, it's going to be a big tax on us, especially if we need to continue war with Hezbollah, right? That would be very taxing on us, and we are going to keep losing soldiers every now and then. So another important thing is that we don't. When I notice, I heard the Aluf Brick. I don't know what the rank of the equivalent rank of Aluf in Hebrew. Some big shot in the army that he was a big shot in the army. He said that we don't have actual fighting in Gaza. There's no actual fighting. Our soldiers are just dying from explosives. So I started to notice this, and it's actually true. All the soldiers that die from the moment I saw this are dying because of the explosives. We are not actually confronting Hamas for a long time. It was like that in the beginning. For a long time, we don't see any Hamas. Our soldiers are just getting exploded here and there, and nothing happens. So what's the point of continuing this? They are completely scattered already. They don't fire missiles. I mean, we killed Hania, and what did they do? They do nothing. They can't do. They fire a rocket every blue moon from now on. So to continue the war as it is, there's no point for that. So we're just talking about actually holding Philadelphia, and it would be just like in Lebanon. We would hold them. We have an army there. We would lose soldiers every now and then. Now they are so close to there, so they're going to throw everything they have at us. We're going to lose a lot of people. But the last thing I have, it is kind of weird, so I'm going to let you respond for this, and then we continue with that. Okay?
Okay. So nothing you said really negated the main point, though, right?
Yeah. Maybe
So
maybe you
you're
still
saying
want
that,
to.
yeah, but So you're saying Israel is not meant to do long-lasting wars, right? First of
Yeah.
all, Israel has had war for almost a year now in Gaza, and I could tell you, based on the analysis by the Islamic Republic insiders, they didn't expect Israel's being able to continue a war like this for a whole freaking year. They are extremely shocked about Israel's capability to continue a war like this for this
Yeah.
long, right? But
It's
even
for a
if
good
Israel
reason.
is not capable of doing long-lasting wars, uh, yeah, but the point is that if you do not do this right now, you are going to have longer-lasting wars in the future.
Hmm.
If you allow Hamas to survive this and do other October 7th in the future, so which one is worse? Let's say, yeah, a long-lasting war is disastrous for Israel's economy, for its soldiers, for its people. It is. It is disastrous for any country. But what is worse, a long-lasting war or a longer-lasting on and off war forever, right? So as long-lasting as this could be, the point is that the alternative is longer-lasting.
That's if you can promise that it would actually prevent future wars, but it's impossible.
There is no promises. We don't work in the world.
Not promise, like very high probability.
Yes.
Likelihood.
Yeah, with a high I could tell you that in the world of probabilities, not in the world of certainties, we know that Hamas is crushed right now, is devastated right now. It's close to completely losing its entire military capability right now.
Yeah, they don't have any.
Only chance here's what we know: the only chance for its revival is to open the Philadelphia corridor. That's what we know. Israel cannot go and open a new front with Hezbollah and then get stabbed in the back again from Hamas because it didn't finish the job here and it allowed the Islamic Republic to revive its proxy in Gaza, right? So even if you need like, oh, this is lasting long, well, it will be longer lasting if you provide an opportunity for Hamas to revive itself. Okay. And you're saying, you mentioned a whole bunch of other issues, like people being jealous, people being having their social cohesion being threatened within Israel and everything. All of that is valid. But I'm saying it would be worse if you don't finish the job in Gaza right now, right?
No, I don't think so. Imagine that we're going to have we actually destroyed Hamas, right? So even if the corridor is open, we would still have eyes on it, right? We can have a very good intel on it. So it would be almost as if it is close. They're going to rearm very slowly.
That's exactly what people said last time Israel was in Gaza and they left Gaza, right? They said,
it's not going to be an issue.
Look, hold on.
The first missile we're going to get, we get right back.
Israel, there. Hold on. I've heard this before. I remember. I was a child when this happened. Okay, I remember. And Israel was in Gaza, and people said that Israel could come out of Gaza. It's okay. Nothing will happen. We have eyes on it. Israel could move in any time. We will control this from a distance. Look how that turned out. Okay, so I've heard this before. I'm not going to believe this now, okay? And yet, here's the thing. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. Why would you take a chance? You're already there right now. They're almost drowning. They're almost suffocating. You're like, hey, let's let them live. Don't worry. We could come back and kill them. Dude, it's this close to completely losing all its leaders and all its military capability. You want to give it a breathing room because of the chance of being able to come back in and completely destroying them another time? Yeah.
They lost all of they lost. They already lost. That's what I'm saying. There is no fighting with them. They are done. They're already done. There is not almost done.
They're not done. They still have enough of their infrastructure and the main key people in place for the Islamic Republic to be able to work with something, to be able to revive it.
They will always be able to revive it no matter what we do. The moment we open the corridor.
No, not if you close. Not if you keep the corridor closed.
For how long?
I tell you, if you keep the corridor closed, the chances of the Islamic Republic being able to revive Hamas will become minimal. Not zero, but minimal.
Well, I don't think so. I think it is. Listen, after you when the first time you get out and you say, well, if they will do something, we'll fight them, and you don't do that, right? That's another thing. But the second time is different, right? When you do learn your lesson after one time. So there's no way they're going to arm themselves again the way they did at this time.
Why not?
If we're on it. Because we're going to be on it now. Now we are going to be on it. There's a history for that.
They don't care. They could do this forever. Do you think they care about dying?
We wouldn't let them. Not after last time. Israel was.
If you don't want to let them, you have to call. How would you not let them? The best way to not let them is to close off the place where they get all their weaponry and all their resources And here's the thing. I think Israel should go beyond just closing the corridor. Israel should make sure that every single aid that is coming to Gaza is being not monitored by Israel, but given out by Israel itself. Like, I
Given
don't
what?
think
What
that
the word you
Israel
said? Given what?
given out by Israel itself. Like,
Given.
if there's water and food and medicine coming to Gaza, so the corridor should be closed. But even if under the management of Israel itself, food and water and medicine is getting in, you should not, after the experience that we have had in Gaza, Israel should not be trusting any humanitarian organization
No,
out
that's for
there
sure.
with giving
That's
out
for
the
sure.
yeah. Israel
for
should be giving it out themselves, right? And if you close the corridor, here's the thing. If you close the corridor and you manage who gets the food yourself, you could basically completely suffocate them. You could close off north of Gaza completely, evacuate everybody to the south, close off all food and water to north of Gaza, and whatever Hamas is left there, eventually they will have to come out of their holes because no food is getting there. This is completely doable. This is only completely doable if Israel remains in Gaza and closes the Philadelphia corridor, and if Israel is managing the food and water and medicine themselves. It's completely doable to completely identify all key Hamas militia and basically make sure that Gaza is Hamas clean, close to Hamas clean at least. It is possible to do this, but why take even a chance? Here's the thing, Roy. Maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe you.
Yeah,
But
I
why
get
take a
what you're saying.
chance? Why take it? Why gamble with the revival of Hamas? But go on.
I'm trying to arrange what I'm going to say. I think I want to get back to this. I'm going to get back to this. I also want to mention, let's talk about the Palestinians themselves in Gaza, right? So the whole proportionality thing. I know what is proportional, all this question. I mean, what is proportional? What do you think? Let's pretend that in order to continue this, we will actually end up killing every single one of the people in Gaza. Let's pretend that's the only way. That's going to be the casualties. So is that still okay? We should do that.
Wait, say that again because somebody just Mandy distracted me. No, don't keep those starred. Alfred, can you keep those starred? Those two comments. Where is it? Just Mandy was saying Armin talking like he's eradicating rats. What the f? Talk about dehumanization. Yeah, because
What?
I said like Hamas like it could come out of their holes. Like
Yeah.
just Mandy,
Hamas
I'm talking about Hamas. I'm not talking about Palestinians. I'm average Palestinians. I'm talking about Hamas. Okay.
Hamas are.
Yeah, but be careful. Don't say that word because YouTube might think YouTube is very sensitive about dehumanizing. I didn't even mention rats, right? And even if you're concerned about that, I'm talking about Hamas militia. I don't know why you're offended on behalf of Hamas. But anyways, can you ask your question again?
Yes, of course. I'll ask it differently. A lot of people say, look at how all of the Palestinians were happy after October 7, right? They were joyous. They are like, they support Hamas and all that. And part of what I'm usually say is being happy that someone dies does not entail a death sentence, right? If you're happy that someone dies, you should not be killed for it. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that. However, I also understand that human sympathy is not like a tap water that you could just turn on, request that, and just turn it on and get it, right?
What do you mean?
Humans are social animals, and as social animals, we require some sense of relatability to get that sympathy. So if we see a group of people that have certain values that is so bizarre, I would want people to have sympathy as much as possible. But it's unreasonable for me to request it when people have values so foreign and so alien to you that you cannot muster it. Like, it's hard for you to feel that from people that celebrate death so much. Again, I'm not endorsing it. I try to be sympathetic as much as possible. I just know that is a very hard thing to request from people. as if they're robots. Like it could be like, oh, here's the sympathy code, give it to me,
Yeah.
turn on, turn off, right? Like it's not like that. We're not robots. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you are detached, like you are detached, for somewhat detached from it, right? You didn't lose anyone here, and you're detached. So do you think they should die because they were happy about this? They're celebrated in
No,
the
no, of
street.
course not. Of course, I don't think
Okay.
people should be punished for having bad views. I
Hmm.
think people should be punished for their actions so that we could deter those actions.
Okay.
But wrong opinions or
Okay. Okay.
discussing views are not worthy, is not does not make you worthy of having a miserable life. I want peace and happiness for highest number of people, including people with bad, horrible beliefs. I even want peace and happiness for people that do bad things. I just think that the reason why I think they should be punished is not because I want them to be miserable. It's just because from a utilitarian perspective, I know that them being punished deters other people from doing horrible things, right? I want maximum happiness for maximum number of people. Sometimes some people have to suffer, not because I want to see them suffer, because I don't, but because I think that them suffering will deter other people for taking from taking the same actions. Not because the suffering itself is not the goal. The deterrence of future suffering is the goal. That's my mentality. But yeah,
Okay.
but I don't
So
expect that from other people. Yeah, go.
yeah, of course. So he said if they were happy that we died, they shouldn't. It's not a death sentence. How about if they support Hamas? Let's say that people in the comments said that 100% of them support Hamas. I don't think so. Nothing is 100%, but let's pretend 100% of the Palestinians actually support Hamas, and they're like, "Yeah, go get them." They said for the Hamas. When they heard about it, they say, "Yes, Hamas, go on." Should they? Is that a death sentence?
And no, it shouldn't be. Yeah, just
I
because
mean,
first of all,
support
it's
like
not
that, not
true.
support like arming them. Support like with their mind
Yes.
and ideas and the
Yeah,
words.
yeah. I here's the thing. Me and you, we think about these things. We spend time on it. We try to come up with figuring out what is the right belief, what is the right method. Okay, I don't agree. First of all, most people, like many people in Gaza, don't support Hamas. Just to be clear, unfortunately, a majority of them do. But let's acknowledge that some of them don't. But even the ones they don't deserve to die just because they support Hamas. I agree. I agree with you on that. Okay.
Mhm.
However, I do not expect that view from most people,
Of
especially
course.
if I was a victim of fucking Hamas. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
think.
Of course, of
I,
course.
I probably wouldn't think like that if I lost a child to Hamas. I would.
If you were
I
to
would go
cut
like.
me, if you were to cut me in the road and ask me what should be the punishment, I would say the death sentence. So,
Oh, what
I'm
the
not
hell?
asking the
Okay.
people who
Whoa.
were
Okay.
affected. I'm not saying if you were asking immediately after you cut me, that's what I would say. I'm not talking about the people. I'm just asking if they should, not what the people in Israel
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I'm saying if should die
I
or
don't
no.
think.
That's the question.
I
They
don't
should or
think
they
they should
shouldn't die.
die, but I also understand why a population of people who have been
Yeah, yeah.
victimized by that group might will have a different opinion on it.
Yes, of
But
course,
yeah,
of course.
go
I'm,
on.
I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about the
Okay.
why are Israelis saying this thing to say. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm just saying that about the actual punishment that the Palestinians are getting. Right? They are getting punishment. I'm saying it's like if you're saying that who's got more responsibility for Hamas, the Israelis or the Palestinians? So yeah, the Palestinians, right? It's among them. But is the responsibility entails the actual suffering that they are going through right now? They are going through
Okay.
a lot of
The
suffering. So the suffering is
are
because
you
of
sure
Hamas, right? That's what you're saying. You're saying Hamas is
the
responsible for it.
suffering? Yeah, and also as much as the suffering of the Palestinian people, as devastating as
Hmm.
it is necessary because we have to avoid a bigger suffering. So I do consider the Palestinian suffering to be a tragedy. Okay, but it's a necessary suffering because if this suffering was not here, the alternative suffering would be higher. If you get attacked and you do not respond aggressively because of that attack, if you let October 7th go unanswered and the whole world doesn't see that you when you are attacked you respond in such an aggressive way that will make anybody that supported that attack regret supporting that attack, for you, if you do not respond in a way for people who have hope for victory to lose the hope for that victory, you have to basically suck out the hope of victory out of every single one of your, not just military enemies, but also ideological enemies. Every single person that is supporting Hamas, they should think that this is an unwinnable war. And if you do not do that, then you are going to continue having wars. So the suffering that you see as in Gaza right now, as great as it is, the aggregate suffering will be higher if Israel does not advertise, does not demonstrate its deterring capabilities.
What do you mean higher? Let's pretend for a second that Israel just like attacked Hamas, like like from the air, just for like for 3 weeks, and that's it. Let's say only 2,000 people died in Gaza. Now, what would happen that will make another 40,000 people to die there, and all the poverty and sickness and polio?
It's not based on the number of. It's not. It's the.
You'd say it would be much more suffering. So what could be the more suffering?
Yeah. Okay. So there's two measurements. First of all, it's based on military objectives. Israel should finish achieving its military objectives in Gaza, right? It's not based on how many Palestinians died. It's based on whether or not the military objectives were accomplished. 1. 2, it's also based on whether your enemy is convinced that this war is unwinnable. Right?
Their war is unwinnable?
Yes, they have to be convinced this is how you win a war. Once the way to win a war is for the people on one side to eventually be convinced that this war is unwinnable. That's how all wars end. That's how most wars end. Wars continue because both sides believe that they could achieve something by continuing the war. The way war ends is if one side at some point realizes that they can the things that they could achieve by continuing this war are unachievable. If you end the war before if both sides still think that they can achieve something by continuing the war, if you get ceasefire right now, you're just delaying the war to another date. You have to continue the war.
Yeah, but how, if you could measure the suffering? I mean, I don't think that the Palestinians, let's not talk about Israelis now. The Palestinians, I don't know what would happen to get the Palestinians for this level of suffering. Maybe in 300 years it would get to this amount of suffering.
No,
if we didn't
let me tell you, this is what should happen. This is what should happen. Okay, keep the Philadelphia corridor, right? Get to the point where the last leaders of Hamas are dead. Okay, get to the point where all the tunnels, especially the tunnels that connect Gaza to Egypt, are closed. Okay, get to the point where the vast majority of the military capabilities of Hamas has been destroyed within Gaza. Right. Once you get to that point, now you start construction of Gaza under the management
with
of
whatever left
Israel,
and whomever left.
There are many people left there. What are you talking about?
You know, they have polio now. They have children with polio. They have babies with polio.
Yeah, there are many people left there. The number of people who have died is a small.
Of course. Yeah, but
okay. So
it's going
2 million. So the 2 million Palestinians that are there, right now, Israel with the cooperation under the management of Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the UAE, and Israel, and the United Nations, reconstruction in Gaza will start, but it has to be completely, the Philadelphia corridor has to be completely under the management of Israel, so no support for terrorism can enter Gaza, right? And once the reconstruction of Gaza begins, Israel should make sure that they manage the education system and the media so the radicalization of the future generations is not possible. After you manage to completely remove the control of Hamas in Gaza, now you have to start. Israel has to start the de-radicalization process in Gaza, and you get de-radicalization by giving the people there something to look forward to, something on earth rather than in the afterlife.
Yeah.
So you need to give them hope, right? That's the goal. That's the point. And eventually, you have to make Gaza part of Israel. You have to make Gaza part of Israel. There's no other way. But go on.
That you just said part of the problem is Islam, right? There are it's in their deep-rooted belief system that they can't have Jews controlling them.
No.
How could you do that?
That's not inherent. Islam is
It's not
not in the
inherent, but it's
DNA.
inherent to Islam.
Yes, but it's not inherent to Muslims, right? You see
Yeah,
so
no,
many
not to
Muslims
Muslim.
around the world. It is inherent in Islam. It's not inherent in Muslims. You see many Muslims around the world that even though their ideology teaches them to prioritize afterlife over this life, they actually do prioritize this life over afterlife. Go look in the UAE. Go look at even in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia, most Muslims there are prioritizing this life over the afterlife. Okay,
pro-Israel.
so I mean, you don't even have to. You don't even have to go to Saudi Arabia. Go to Israel. Go look at Muslim Israelis. Okay, they're prioritizing this life over the afterlife. Okay, so if
Yeah,
it's possible with Israeli Muslims, it's going to be possible with future Israeli Muslims who are right now living in Gaza. Okay, again, not the ones that are living. I honestly think that the level of radicalization in Gaza is so high that I don't see them being the Muslims who are right now living in Gaza. I don't see them being de-radicalized, right? I'm talking about their grandchildren. The investment has to be for their grandchildren. I don't even know if you could do this for their children. Okay,
yeah.
probably you have to work on their grandchildren, or maybe the children of their grandchildren. But this is how it's
I,
done. This is how it's done. Yeah.
I just don't. I see what you're saying. You said you and Rebecca said it in your stream. I don't really see how it could happen. I mean, I hear you. I can imagine it, but I don't see it happening. Like, we're educating them. They're going to shank every soldier they see. They're going to try to kill him. The Hamas leftovers, right? They're not going to sit back, and a lot of soldiers are going to die. I'm saying, is it that if you continue this after all of the years, the suffering is going to be bigger than if you stop it now, or maybe a week from now, and just
How
like
could you
doing
not
this
see this?
every 30 years?
How could you not see this when this is? Here's the thing: humans are naturally life loving. Okay,
Yeah,
the only way that they could get like this is with
religion,
crazy freaking ideologies like Islam or Nazism or some other things that I don't know what the Japanese believed in or at that
Judaism.
time, right? If you remove this mind virus, they would easily go back to their nature. They will easily go back to their nature. It's not that difficult. And I don't know why you see that as being so difficult, given that we have seen this happen time and time again.
Yeah,
Look
but
at
that's what.
listen to this.
Yeah,
Look, you want
Germany.
radicalization? Germany.
Yeah,
Look at Germany now, and this is within my freaking life, like many people's lifetime, right? Like the de-radicalization process.
you
This
also
is
mean a
not like
different
2,000 years
lifetime.
ago.
You also mean a
Okay,
different lifetime.
look at Japan. Do you know the original suicide bombers? They were not even Muslim. The original suicide bombers were
Yakuza.
the Japanese.
Yeah,
Okay, they were the Japanese, right? The level of radicalization in
Hamas.
Japan was freaking insane. I mean, look at how kawaii they are right now, right? Look at look at their culture, right? They're obsessed with cuteness. These people were the most militarized people on the freaking
Cuteness.
planet.
By the way, Germany are
Right?
going down, right? They are going back to being
No,
extremist
that's not even remotely close.
slowly.
Guys, this is I think people forget
I'm
what the
kidding. I'm
fuck what
kidding.
the world look like. If you look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah.
the AFD and be like, oh my god, we're going back to Nazi Germany. People have no idea what
No,
the
no, no,
world
no, no,
looked like.
no, no,
This
no,
is
no.
nothing you're experiencing is remotely close to the level of radicalization that we had between 1933 and 1953. Like communist Stalinist Russia and the Nazis and the imperialist Japan, what the fuck that we were dealing with was unimaginable. The radicalization that we have in the world today is baby talk. It's like nothing compared to what the threat that we had. We lived within my lifetime. We lived in a world that the option of using nuclear weapons to wipe out hundreds of millions of people were considered a likely option by both sides, both Western country and communists. This was on the fucking table. We lived in this world. This is such a much like we have evolved, we have de-radicalized so much, and for people to look at Gaza and be like, we can't do that. That's impossible. Are you freaking kidding me? We did this with entire nations. And you're looking at this tiny little strip, and you're like, oh yeah, no, we can't do this one. This one, we can't do that. We can't do this right now. We did this even with Muslim countries. I mean, look at fucking Saudi Arabia. Can you imagine Saudi Arabia having Justin Bieber concerts, like theaters, women driving? Did you imagine this happening 20 years ago in Saudi Arabia? People would laugh at you if you said that this will happen in Saudi Arabia 20 years from now. So it is. These things are possible. If I told you within my lifetime, 20 years ago, if you told me that Iran would turn into a Muslim minority country, people would think you're fucking insane. People will think you're fucking insane, but it happened. It happened. It happened. So don't think this is possible. This is possible. Okay? Like United States and Japan are right now best friends. United States and Germany are now best friends. So the world can change within one generation. So Gaza can change. But go on, sorry, I've been talking for so long.
No, I want to raise first thing. I want to just to remind the viewers again. I'm not saying my actual thoughts. I'm doing some devil's advocate.
Give me your actual thoughts. Tell me your actual thoughts.
Both. I'm doing both because I'm not completely in on it. I'm representing the other side. I want to raise the point of the contract that the Jews have with the government.
I think you're getting a lot of heat from the live chat. People are hating on you in the live chat. That's why you're like, "Hey guys, I'm just playing."
Yeah. I don't know any of this. I don't care. But I just want to remind them to don't waste your keystrokes. I want to remind people about the contract we have with the country, right? You know Hannibal. How do you say it? Hannibal
project, protocol. The Hannibal
protocol. Yeah, that if you get kidnapped, you should do anything to stop the kidnapping. That's what the IDF. Actually, maybe in the comment section you can tell me if it's still like that. It was when I was in the army. I'm not even sure if it's still it works like that. People in the comments say it. So what it means is that the country should do everything it can in order to get you out in order to have you not be a hostage. So even if the future is at stake, to be in a greater danger, I'm not saying like a complete annihilation of Israel, but if there's a chance that 3,000 Israelis would die 10 years from now, but they should take you out. That's the contract that you have with the country. We will do anything we can to rescue you. We should not like bomb a place that you might be there. That's the contract that is being violated right now. So you can change. I always tell my wife that maybe we should change this contract. I think that soldiers need to go and say, maybe that's what they need to do, and say, well, if I'm going to be a hostage, treat me as if I'm dead. Don't do anything. The terrorists can't negotiate. You would not ask. You don't care about me. Yeah, you can kill him. We don't care about you. But as of now, the contract was that the country must do everything as fast as they can to rescue you, no matter what the consequences are in the future. And it's not being done.
These are not the contracts. Contracts change based on the political capital. Different people, different sides of
no. But when they were captured, right now, that was the contract. You can't change the contract after they are there, right?
No, there is no written and signed contract. These are
it is a contract
that people.
If you ask every Israeli, that's the contract you have in Israel. No one will ever be a hostage. If I will kill you and not let you be a hostage, right? That's what we say.
That's not a directive that you're beholden to.
We're not beholden. What do you mean beholden to? It's like it's the culture. That's what we say.
This was just something that some military officials had as their protocol, and so many people disagree with it. This is not how. I don't care about these directives or protocols. Okay.
No. I'm saying it's not that the army. I'm not thinking just about the Hannibal initiative protocol. I'm talking about this is part just to show you directive. I'm just saying that it's part of the culture, not even without the army. Without the army, the people say.
So put aside the Hannibal directive. Put aside the Hannibal directive because that was something that was not about hostages. That was about some way that they do military. They carry out military. It was a military protocol, and it wasn't even about hostages. It's about something else, and it was.
No, it is about. So now it is about hostages. I was in the army. They told us, if someone is getting kidnapped and you can't fire at the terrorist, blow up the whole place. That's the order.
You cannot. So explain this to me again. Let me actually bring this up myself.
Let's say
you cannot or you can.
You need to. Let's say that you are unable. Someone is getting kidnapped. Is getting dragged out right of the base, and you are unable to fire just at the at your enemy. It's impossible for you. What you need to do is blow up. You make sure that he is not kidnapped, even if he needs to die. Don't shoot at his face, but if you can throw a grenade or something to make it not happen, you should do that.
Okay, let me see. The Hannibal Directive was an Israeli military. See, I was correct.
Yeah, that's why I asked the comment section if it still is. It was when I was in the army.
So I said it's temporary, and you said no. I'm in the military. I know. So I know about this. I've heard about
I asked the comment section. No, but it was.
I know. So I was. I was correct. Let me read this. The Hannibal Directive was an Israeli military protocol designed to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers. So see, I was correct when I said this.
I'm not saying that we should do that.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me say my point.
You didn't get me.
Okay, but let me actually say what I was trying to say. When I said this is not about hostages, I meant this is not about civilian hostages. This was about military soldiers being captured in war. That's what I meant. Okay. So the Hannibal Directive was an Israeli military protocol designed to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers by enemy forces. It allowed troops to take extreme measures, including heavy firepower, to prevent a soldier from being captured, even at risk. So it's not about killing that soldier for that soldier not to become a hostage. It's about risking that soldier's lives to try to prevent that person becoming a hostage, even at risk of harming the soldiers. The directive was controversial due to potential civilian casualties and harm to the captured soldier. It was officially rescinded by the IDF in 2016, and it's no longer in use. So I was correct.
It was after. Yeah, but it's not my point. The point is just to show you that what the contract is with the country. That to show that being a hostage is something. It's very urgent. You need to do everything. If you have a hostage, you need to do whatever you need to take.
Where is this? Is this a contract? You're saying
it's
this
not an actual contract. It's a culture. It's a culture. That's what we say. That's what we feel.
And it's not. You don't make it seem like it's universal within Israel, because many people, Israelis, do not think like that. They don't. Many Israelis are. So you are being a deontologist, and I'm being a utilitarian. Here, right? You're just basically acting like, okay, this is, or a virtuous ethicist, I don't know. You're saying like, this is what we should do regarding of consequences. I am doing measurement of what is the right thing to do based on the consequences, rather than acting like a certain act is good regardless of its consequences just because it sounds good, right? And I think Israel, you're saying that this is Israel's culture. You're saying this is a contract because it's Israel culture. I don't think so, because Israel is a diverse group of people. We have people that disagree on what the right within Israel. We have people who disagree with what the right course of action is. So I don't think it's fair for you to introduce this as a universal culture that Israeli people have.
I think nothing is all encompassing, but it is very strong. It is within Israel that you should do anything to save hostages. And I have one last thing. One last thing. So okay, I'm okay with this. How much time we have? Do we have more time?
We're over time. So send me your last thing.
I think it's so. Tell me if it's too long. Maybe you want to talk about it after. Is Roy wrong? I don't know.
No, just quickly tell me your last thing, and then
I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it quick. I mean, it's the most interesting one. Why it's going to be long? I'll just tell it. I'll just say, let's pretend that. No. So I can't make it short. It's impossible.
Just say it. I will respond. Just quickly say it. I'm curious.
Let's say that if October 7 never happened, we didn't start the war, right? We wouldn't have done that. Okay, you agree?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's pretend that
if October 7th didn't happen, you wouldn't start the war. Yeah, that's obvious. Okay.
Okay. So let's pretend. It's like a mind thought. Let's pretend that it wasn't a terror attack. Let's pretend that it was a disease, like an outbreak that killed 1,500 people, just like here, and wounded people in exactly the same way. Okay. Would the country do as much as it does right now to fight it?
Yep.
We would.
No, because it's not just about lives taken. Okay.
No. And if we didn't do anything,
fabric.
Just a second. And if we didn't do anything, then in 5 years, maybe 5 people of the 1,000 people would die from the war, and in 10 years, maybe even 30. Let's say that
do you understand the difference? The difference between 1,200 people dying from disease and 1,200 people dying from terrorist attack. The main difference is that one of them is challenging the existence of your country. One of them is with promises of future attacks. One of them is basically, if you don't respond to it with war, you're basically advertising to the whole world that it's open season on Jews.
No, I'm not
right?
saying don't do
It's basically
anything.
come
Right?
get us.
I'm not saying
Yes.
don't do anything. I'm saying how much should we do about this? Because Israel is not in
The
a position of
the most possible. If your country's border integrity and the security of your civilians are being threatened, you should respond with maximum possible force. The challenge to your existence should be responded with such degree of force that everybody recognizes that you are not weak. That if they fuck around, they will find out in a way that they would regret the day that they started that war. There is no limit. The only limit is your capability. And that capability means both political pressure internationally and your military capability. That's your limit. You should respond with maximum possible force when somebody is threatening the existence of your country and the security of your civilians.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Okay. Well, all right. Let me actually just see the poll. So here in the poll, people agree with me the most. However, most Israelis seem to be agreeing with you in general. Right? So yeah. So here, when I said, who do you agree with more, Roy or Armin? 78% voted for me and 22% voted for you.
I guess the better ones.
However, when you
one are
ask
better?
an average Israelis, huh?
Can you see which one is better? The ones like as a person, which ones are smarter? The ones that voted for me or for you?
No. They just agree with my position here. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Okay, but however, in Israel, when you actually ask Israelis on average, polls find 60% of Israelis back proposed hostage for ceasefire deal. So on average, you have a slight advantage among Israelis. And also, I saw this more recent article, but from September 4th. Israelis pessimistic about chances of hostage ceasefire deal occurring soon. This is a new poll. 15% of Jews express optimism. Okay, so this one is more about optimism or pessimism. It doesn't tell you what percentage of them wants a ceasefire. So this one is back in June, and 60% wanted a ceasefire for hostages, right? So, and again, this poll is not really representing what we're talking about here, because I want to see if 60% of Israelis agree with a ceasefire, if that ceasefire includes giving up the Philadelphia corridor.
Yeah, that's what
they say. I'm huh?
Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they're demonstrating about. Okay. They do want that.
Okay.
They agree to suffer that, let's say.
Okay, so I would say that the Israelis in the live chat here are smarter than average Israelis.
So how was it? Did it feel like I'm not believing myself, even what I'm saying?
No, but what do your position? You yourself are kind of torn on this, right?
I'm actually on the fence. It's hard for me.
You're on the fence.
I'm on the fence. Yeah, I'm not. I don't believe actually like 40% of what I said. It's like I don't believe it completely.
Did I manage to convince you a little bit to my side?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, it's just Mandy says that she's Israeli, but she has the craziest. She's like, are you? Did she mention she's Jew or Israeli last time? So just Mandy saying in the live chat, why should Gaza give up the hostages without a real solution for Gaza? That would be the same. Why should Gaza? You mean the terrorist Hamas? You know what? The Hamas terrorists, they shouldn't do anything. They should just die. That's what I think. All right. We don't expect them to do anything other than just being annihilated. That's what we want from them. I don't understand what the hell. Oh, Han is saying, Armin, you must ask him if he. So this Han guy is like an actual crazy person, like extreme far right person, like not like the patriot people that other people call far right. And he thinks that you are you might actually sympathize with Hamas based on.
They are
So
freedom
he wants
fighters. They
no,
do.
don't
They
say that on
should.
YouTube as a joke.
I'm
YouTube, no.
sorry. I'm sorry.
YouTube might think YouTube might think
And
you're
it's
being
gone.
serious.
I don't think
And
that
it's
they are
gone.
freedom fighters. They're not freedom
Oh
fighters.
my god,
They're
yeah, no. So
terrorists,
no,
scum.
Roy. He wants.
Are
Yeah,
we
okay.
still
So
monetized?
Han actually thinks that based on what the things that you said, Han actually thought that you might actually sympathize
You say
with
people don't listen. I
Hamas.
said I'm not. I'm not. It doesn't matter what I say. People continue. Are we still monetized or is it gone?
No, these days we get monetized after the stream is over. So I
Oh,
don't
it's
know.
amazing.
Right after the stream is over, we get demonetized, but for some reason we're still monetization on throughout the stream. YouTube, I don't know what has changed. And Just Mandy also saying there is no Hamas. Oh, this one I wanted to respond to.
There is
Alfred
Hamas in the
highlighted
West Bank,
this.
of course there is.
Yeah, there is. So like Just Man is saying there is no Hamas in West Bank. So why do Palestinians get killed over there? Why is infrastructure wrecked there? Just Mandy, you have no idea what you're talking about. There is Hamas in the West Bank. Also, even there are terrorists there that are not even Hamas that are in the West Bank. The Islamic Republic of Iran, Khamenei himself directly mentioned that they have to militarize West Bank as much as they have militarized Gaza, and they're trying to arm people in the West Bank. And also, let me tell you that the support for Hamas in the West Bank is stronger than it is in Gaza. There are many people in the West Bank that want to do terrorist activity against Israelis there. And if you're saying like, oh, why do all of these things happen in the West Bank if there is no Hamas there? First of all, even if there is no Hamas there are many terrorists with other brands in the West Bank that are trying to annihilate Israel. So there you go. Maybe actually go do some research so you don't embarrass yourself. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what you're talking about. But thank you for being here.
But thank you for your support and thanks for the view.
Thank you for the comment. Okay, let me just do the member comments and then we go. Kelvin is saying most people in Israel prioritize getting hostages back, but Netanyahu and Ben Gvir used war for political expediency.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I don't know if that's true. Whether or not it's true or not, I do agree that I do agree with the 40% of Israelis that think that the war should continue, even if they're doing it for political expediency. It's the correct position, whatever their motivations there is. They could have the wrong motivations. Let's say Netanyahu and Ben Gvir have the wrong motivation. It doesn't matter. It's still the correct position. Let me just do this one. Wub is saying, what is the connection between... Huh? I don't know what this means. I don't even know what I'm reading there. Okay, so... Anyways, let's just end the stream. Guys, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you leave a comment. Roy, were you happy with this discussion? I think it was a good discussion.
Yeah, it was a good discussion. Maybe I can even do better next time. I'll tell you if I get some I probably get some points, some feedbacks about this, and maybe I can do. I'll tell you if I can. I think I can do something.
Guys, we should appreciate Roy. Like Roy himself is like, I don't know why so many people were hating on Roy in the live chat.
They don't agree. Yeah, someone says, "Where is your brain, Roy? Where is your brain, man? Do you even listen?"
This was one of the best discussions I ever had. Like I think this was a very helpful discussion for people to understand both sides of these positions. Like I haven't seen a discussion this helpful, anywhere else. So I think we should appreciate and thank Roy for spending the time for being here. Like don't be ungrateful, guys. And thank you, Roy. Fine. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yes. Okay. It's good to recover. People are saying sorry to you in the chat. Okay. All right, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. And and in the comment section, thank Roy for being here and spending some time here with us. And stay liberal. Mwah. Bye.
Bye, guys.